Welcome to Mystic Realms Recap. Links are in the description below. Please show some love of the author and me. On to the show.
Mo-Kerr gritted his teeth and decided to go all out. As long as he could save his life, no matter how high the price was, he would not hesitate. Boom! Above the energy shield, there was a loud noise suddenly. The energy shield finally couldn't withstand the bombardment of the energy cannon, and finally exploded. Suddenly, the shrill screams of the sun sounded. The energy shield exploded, and clusters of flames soared into the sky, enveloping the entire warship. The soldiers on the battleship flew out one after another. Poof! Mo-Kerr fell to the ground. He struggled to get up. At this moment, he was dripping with blood. He looked at the Hyperion in the distance. His heart was filled with hatred and anger. Right now, there is nothing he can do. He can only watch helplessly as the energy shield shatters and turns into ashes. Chief Mo-Kerr, we have no way out. We can only fight to the death, the soldier said anxiously. Mo-Kerr closed his eyes. Do it now, Mo-Kerr said. He knew that he had no choice. Yes, Chief Mo-Kerr, I'll start tinkering with the energy shield, the soldier responded, and then walked towards the energy shield. At this time, Su-Yan was controlling the Hyperion and continued to attack frantically. Boom! There was another loud bang, leaving a crack on the energy shield again. The top of the energy shield was hit again by the Hyperion, and cracks spread rapidly in all directions. In the blink of an eye, cracks appeared in the energy shield. The Hyperion continued to attack crazily. After cracks appeared in the energy shield, the Hyperion fired another energy cannon. Boom! The energy cannon hit the energy shield again, and there was another terrifying explosion. On the top of the energy shield, a huge gap was struck again. Rumble! One after another, the energy shields continued to explode under the crazy attack of the Hyperion. Boom! Under the crazy attack of the Hyperion, the energy shields collapsed one after another, one piece after another. The energy shields were like made of tofu, and they would shatter when touched. During this process, battleships kept flying out of the energy shield, and then were blasted by the energy shield in mid-air, turning into pieces of flames. Boom! One by one, the battleships exploded under the crazy attack of the Hyperion. Under this kind of tragic attack, the battleship couldn't bear this devastating attack, and also exploded. Mo-Kerr's face turned pale a little bit, and dozens of warships were lost in just a few minutes. This was definitely an extremely painful blow to him, and it made him have the urge to vomit blood. At this moment, several battleships were attacked by the Hyperion, and exploded again. The soldier beside Mo-Kerr couldn't help feeling a little worried when he saw Mo-Kerr's appearance. He has no other way now, but can only bite the bullet and persevere. Boom! Suddenly, there was a deafening loud noise, and an energy cannon bombarded the hull of the battleship. Immediately, a hole more than 1 meter deep appeared on the hull. The power of the energy cannon is so powerful that it can blast through the defense of the battleship. Mo-Kerr looked at the energy cannon, his pupils instantly enlarged with a horrified expression on his face. This is a battleship. Such a defensive warship was destroyed like this. He couldn't believe it. He looked at the position of the energy cannon, and couldn't help but tremble in his heart. That position, just where he had just stood, was very close to him. If the energy cannon hit him just now, he would definitely die. Do not. There was a deep hatred in Mo-Kerr's eyes. The anger in his heart blazed up at this moment. He hated the Hyperion, and hated himself even more. If he wasn't too careless, how could he let it take advantage of it? If he hadn't asked his subordinates to tell him the situation here, how could he have put himself in this situation? Now these words, he is too late. They could no longer escape. Kill him, growled Mo-Kerr. At this moment, his heart was filled with monstrous hatred. Kill. A group of soldiers shouted and rushed towards Su-Yan, asking for flowers. The Hyperion's speed was too fast. Before they got close to the Hyperion, the main gun of the Hyperion released a burst of terrifying tongues of flame, and then blasted out. Boom! At the muzzle of the Hyperion's main gun, a shell roared out, heading straight for a soldier, who couldn't dodge and was hit by the shell. Pung! The soldier was instantly torn apart by the shell, and turned into a puddle of meat. And on the Hyperion, a group of soldiers still fired shells towards the Hyperion, one after another, roaring towards the Hyperion, one after another, hitting the Hyperion. No. Boom! Although there have been many flaws in the defense of the Hyperion, it still firmly resisted the attacks of these shells. Not only that, but their counterattacks became more and more fierce. Every time they fired, they could blow up a nearby battle. During this process, the speed of the Hyperion became faster and faster. These fighters were beaten one by one without any power to fight back. No. We must evacuate, otherwise, our entire army will be wiped out. Mo-Kerr roared. He looked at the warships one after another, being torn apart by the bombing, and his heart was filled with sorrow. The fighters they cultivated so hard were slaughtered like this. Chief Mo-Kerr was very distressed. Leader, retreat. It is irreparable now. We can no longer stay here. otherwise, we will all die. The only thing we can do now is to run away quickly, the soldier said quickly. Mo-Kur looked around, filled with anger and unwillingness. He had to escape with his men. Retreat, Chief Mo-Kur yelled through gritted teeth. Immediately, he took the lead in soaring into the sky, and flew towards the distance. He took more than 3,000 soldiers under his command, and fled in a hurry. Su Yan steered the Hyperion to give chase. Behind Chief Mo-Kel, the main guns of the Hyperion continued to bombard the surrounding battleships. Boom. Another energy cannon fell on Mo-Kur's battleship, and there was a huge explosion on the battleship. Mo-Kur was thrown by a huge force, and fell to the ground hard. He rolled on the ground for a long time before stopping. After rolling a few times on the ground, a trace of blood dripped from the corner of his mouth. Cough cough. Mo-Kur climbed up with difficulty. Damn, I won't give up, Mo-Kur yelled. Immediately, Mo-Kur looked at his own battleship, feeling a touch of despair in his heart. I have no combat power now, and I can no longer defeat that ship. Moreover, Su Yan seems to have a lot of energy cannons. If we continue to entangle with this ship, we will be wiped out in the end. Can't fight Su Yan anymore? The determination in Mo-Kur's eyes disappeared, replaced by a look of frustration. He looked at Su Yan, full of resentment in his heart. Damn, hateful. 410, you wait for me. When I recover from my injuries, I will definitely take revenge. Mo-Kur yelled angrily in his heart. The main gun of the Hyperion spit out a shell again. This cannonball hit Mo-Kur's warship accurately again. Pooh! On the battleship of Mo-Kur, 2 more soldiers were hit by shells and were killed alive. In the process, the Hyperion fired 2 more rounds. These 2 rounds of shells destroyed a warship. Boom boom. One battleship after another was destroyed, and these warships did not stop attacking. The Hyperion is like an endless meat grinder. Under such a terrifying attack, those warships had no power to fight back at all. After a while, it all turned into ruins. Seeing this scene, the leader of Mo-Kur felt infinite fear in his heart. He knew that the attack this time was the real trump card of the Hyperion. If the super weapon of the Hyperion was not cracked, they would be wiped out. If things go on like this, even if I can hold on to the Hyperion's attack, I can hold on for half an hour at most. In Mo-Kur's mind, such a thought could not help but emerge. At this moment, he suddenly felt very stupid and very regretful. If he had known that today would happen, he would rather choose to give up this operation than take the risk of chasing Su Yan, and he would not end up in today's end. At this time, Mo-Kur's eyes suddenly narrowed slightly, and a sneer appeared on his face. His eyes were on the Hyperion. The number of energy cannons on this ship has been exhausted. He believed that as long as the Hyperion could be used once, the energy cannon would be useless. Ha ha, Hyperion is going to stop after all. We will be able to get rid of the pursuit of the Hyperion, and we can escape from this ghost place. Thinking of this, Mo-Kur felt intense joy in his heart. Once such thoughts appeared, they could no longer be suppressed, and spread wildly regardless. The Hyperion was finally forced to stop. Ha ha, it finally stopped. We are finally able to get out of here. Mo-Kur laughed. His face was full of excitement. He looked at the battleship in front of him. His heart was full of pride. Hyperion, you wait for me. I will kill you with my own hands. I must kill you and avenge my subordinates. Mo-Kur roared in his heart. His eyes turned red, looking very hideous. The muzzle of the Hyperion was slowly taken out from the barrel, and the muzzle aimed at Mo-Kur's battleship. Seeing such a scene, the surrounding soldiers couldn't help trembling. Their faces were pale, and their hearts were full of fear. Are we going to lose? Will our warship be destroyed in the hands of this ship? No, we will not lose. We will definitely not lose. Their hearts are filled with the will not to admit defeat call out. The Hyperion fires a few more rounds, destroying a battleship again. Afterwards, the Hyperion fired several rounds of shells again, completely destroying the remaining warship at once. Another round of shells was fired towards Mo-Kur's battleship. Seeing this scene in front of him, Mo-Kur's face flashed with panic. He quickly shifted his body to avoid the Hyperion's shells. The Hyperion's attack is too sharp. Although Mo-Kur's defense is strong, it can't withstand the raging energy cannon. Su Yan stood on the deck of the Hyperion, looking at Mo-Kur below, the corners of his mouth slightly raised. This old bastard actually dared to come to trouble me. It's really boring. Let's see what he will do now. Su Yan's face is full of jokes. Mo-Kur sent people to pursue him, which was a violation of his taboo, so Su Yan's heart was full of anger. The Hyperion fired several rounds of shells again, destroying all the other warships. At this moment, Mo-Kur has nowhere to go. He could only watch helplessly as the Hyperion fired shells again, flying towards his warship. Do not, he yelled, and then tried his best to flee into the distance. Mo-Kur wanted to escape, but was stopped by Su Yan. Mo-Kur, you can't escape. My energy cannon is not so easy to dodge, Su Yan said lightly. Hearing this, Mo showed a bitter look on his face. No, I am not reconciled. My men are still outside. They are all my subordinates. I am not reconciled to die like this. The energy cannon of the Hyperion is too powerful. Our warships won't be able to withstand it for long. We must escape as soon as possible. We need to contact other warships. I want them to help us. We must 1.4 escape from here. The Hyperion's attack is very powerful. We can't resist it. We need other warships to come to help. As soon as Mo Kier's words fell, everyone nodded in agreement. Seeing the appearance of the crowd, Mo Kier couldn't help feeling a glimmer of hope in his heart. His eyes revealed surprise, and he hurriedly said, "Let's contact other warships quickly." After Mo Kier said this, he immediately led the others and fled around quickly. Su Yan looked at Mo Kier's fleeing back with a calm expression on his face, but in his heart, there was a murderous intent. All these people on this ship deserve to die. Su Yan made a secret decision in his heart. He wants to let Mo Kier die. The Hyperion continued to bombard the rest of the warships. Mo Kier's men hid in the battleship one after another. The shells landed on the battleship, as if piercing through steel, passing directly through the battleship, without causing any damage to the battleship at all. Seeing this result, Mo Kier kept cursing Su Yan in his heart. The Hyperion's shells are too powerful. We must think of a way to deal with them as soon as possible. We can't be passive like this anymore. Mo Kier kept thinking in his heart. He knew that the Hyperion's shells were very powerful, and if he wanted to escape, he could only rely on his battleship. Although his battleship is much smaller than the Hyperion, it is the strongest among the battleships. It can withstand the shells of the Hyperion. The quality of the battleship itself is also very high. As long as the battleship can be preserved, then he will be able to survive, and even have hope to regain his battleship. Mo Kier was thinking secretly in his heart. At this time, his eyes suddenly fell on a huge fort. In Mo Kier's mind, he quickly searched. This huge fort looks bulky, but it is very light. On the fort, there is a huge artillery. This cannon is a full 3-story building, and the barrel is more than 23 meters long. A dazzling flame emitted from the muzzle, like a small meteorite. Seeing this scene, Mo Kier's eyes lit up suddenly. This must be the Hyperion's guns. It must be so. Mo Kier yelled. He knew that once the Hyperion's gun barrel was blown up, the Hyperion would be no longer a threat. A ferocious smile appeared on his face. Hyperion, die for me. Before the words fell, Mo Kier pressed the button. At this moment, his eyes were full of delight. Hyperion, this time, I'm going to blow you up. Boom. The loud noise spread throughout the entire battleship. This is a supergiant cannon firing shells. This cannon went out and went straight to Mother Hyperion. The Hyperion fired energy cannons. Cannonballs collided with cannonballs, and the roar was deafening. The two shells collided with each other in the air, stirring up a gust of wind. In an instant, the entire battleship shook violently, and many soldiers could not stand still, and fell to the ground one after another. Amid the berserk shock waves, the Hyperion was pushed up and kept rolling in the air. In the explosion of the cannonball, dazzling sparks flickered continuously. For a while, the flames were so bright that people couldn't open their eyes. The Hyperion was blown away by such a shock wave, and flew towards the other side. The energy cannon of the Hyperion is too fierce. We can't resist it. We have to avoid its attack, cried Mo Kier's men. Under the Hyperion's energy cannon, they couldn't resist at all. They had to avoid the Hyperion's energy cannon. Where are we going to hide? We can't hide at all. That's right. How do we hide? What should we do? There was a look of despair on everyone's faces. They have completely lost the initiative. We need to find a way as soon as possible. Mo Kier said eagerly. No good. My battleship was hit by energy bombardment, and the weapon system on the battleship was destroyed by the shells. A battleship pilot shouted in panic. Mo Kier trembled suddenly. He felt as if he had fallen into a bottomless abyss. The battleship was actually destroyed by the energy cannon. He could clearly see that the weapon system on the turret was destroyed by the Hyperion's energy cannon. What this means, needless to say, he also knows. Damn it, the combat power of the Hyperion is too terrifying. We are no match at all. Let's run away quickly, Mo Kier said desperately. He didn't want to stay here to die. They have no direction to escape now. The Hyperion, like a ghost, followed them. During the shell attack, the weapon system on the battleship was destroyed, and Mo Kier and others could not use weapons at all, and could only rely on the defense of the battleship to defend. Even so, the battleship still couldn't stop the Hyperion's energy cannon. Soon, the battleship's shells began to decrease, eventually exhausted, became weaker and weaker, and finally completely scrapped and destroyed. Mo Kier is a total failure. The damage of the battleship dealt a great blow to the people on this battleship. Under the energy cannon, all thoughts in everyone's hearts are completely ashamed. This battleship was destroyed in this way, and they were completely powerless to resist. The Hyperion is really terrible. We are no match at all. We can't be its opponent at all. Let's jump. The people on these battleships shouted loudly, and their hearts were full of fear. On the battleship, Evrion's faces were covered in ashes. They have no ability to resist at all. I am not reconciled. The Hyperion was able to destroy the battleship I worked so hard to build. I don't believe that the Hyperion can destroy our battleship. I want to find out the flaws of the Hyperion. I want to destroy it. Mokur roared hysterically. The combat effectiveness of the Hyperion is really terrifying. It even destroyed the battleship 587 that he worked so hard to build. This is absolutely unacceptable to him. He wants to find out the flaws of the Hyperion, and then destroy it. Chief Mokur, the Hyperion's bombardment is terrible. Let's get away. That's right, it's impossible to win. The Hyperion's fighting power is too powerful. We can't match it at all. Several of Mokir's subordinates did not dare to stay on the battlefield. They persuaded Mokir one after another. Wanting to retreat from the battlefield, Su Yan stood on the bow, looked at Mokir coldly, with a mocking smile on his face. Mokur, sooner or later I will destroy your battleship, let you sink, never rise. Ha ha ha. This battleship of Mokir is of great value. If he can obtain this battleship, he will be able to obtain countless resources, so that the soldiers of the Armored Legion can have more and more advanced equipment. The fighting power of the fighters will also be upgraded to a higher level, which will greatly help the strength of the armored army. However, this does not mean that Su Yan can keep Mokir alive. He has to kill Mokur. Mokur is a poisonous snake. Once he is allowed to survive, it will definitely bring great harm to the Armor Legion. He must get rid of Mokur himself to avoid future troubles. When Mokir heard the words of the Hyperion, he suddenly became angry. He roared angrily, Su Yan, we will never give up. I will definitely destroy you. Ha ha ha. Then it depends on whether you have the ability, Su Yan said loudly. Immediately, he waved his arms and shouted loudly, soldiers, get ready to meet my wrath. Kill me. At his order, 108 fighter jets on the battleship of the Hyperion suddenly flew into the air, aimed at the battleship of Mokur, and attacked frantically. Boom. The shells of the fighter planes, the wolves of the wolves, fell on the battleship of Mokur. Mokir's battleship was full of flames, and a series of explosions could be heard endlessly. For a time, the energy cannon was overwhelming. Mokir's battleship also suffered heavy damage. On the battleship, all weapon systems were destroyed. Mokir and others can't control the battleship anymore. They could only rely on the battleship, hiding in the air with difficulty, trying to find a chance to escape. But how could Su Yan let them escape? Hyperion, fire again. Shell after shell flew towards Mokur's battleship. The battleship of Mokur was shrouded in energy cannons, and was bombed miserably. All the soldiers on the battleship were wounded or maimed, and they let out miserable screams. Under the bombardment of the energy cannon, all the soldiers on the battleship Mokil were all shattered and died in the energy cannon. After a round of shelling, all weapon systems on the battleship were destroyed. All the fighters on the battleship were reduced to dust and dissipated in the world, leaving only the devastated battleship. Mokur is dead, and everyone on the battleship is dead. Mokur paid a heavy price for this battle. Ha ha ha. Su Yan looked up to the sky and laughed wildly. This battle is finally over. Then Su Yan went to the next galaxy. He wanted to find the remaining 5 spaceships and kill all the fighters on the other 5 spaceships. A month passed quickly. During this month, Su Yan has been looking for the next planet, looking for 5 spaceships. However, within a month, Su Yan's luck was bad. He had searched for 2 whole star fields, but he still didn't find any trace of his spaceship. This is simply a universe. Where should I go to find it? Su Yan has a headache. In this galaxy, there are no other spaceships at all. He also discovered a lot of interstellar pirates. These interstellar pirates are also good in strength and rich in experience. They have experienced several wars and have certain experience. Therefore, they did not rush out to take risks, but avoided Su Yan. These interstellar pirates, they will not take the initiative to provoke words. After all, Su Yan's identity is very special, and Su Yan also controls a powerful ship like the Hyperion. Su Yan can only choose to search slowly in this galaxy. During this month, Su Yan found a total of 7 subordinate planets. They discovered a great deal of energy on these subordinate planets. These energy sources were all collected by Su Yan. On these subordinate planets, Su Yan also discovered many energy or veins. He found a large amount of precious energy in an energy mine. This energy is enough to power his warriors for several years. Su Yan decided to stay on these 7 planets during this period of time. No longer going deep into other galaxies, he decided to develop his own power among these 7 planets. Su Yan discovered many resource mines. These resource mines are also very beneficial to them. Therefore, they are going to mine these mines here, and then convert these resource mines into energy for their own use. This time they came to the next galaxy. Su Yan did not bring too many people. That is, More than 3,000 people, they are all elite fighters. Although their strength is not strong, they can be regarded as relatively good fighters. Such a group of fighters is enough. When developing forces in the galaxy, they don't need too much high-end combat power, because by doing so, it is easy to attract the attention of others, and it is likely to attract the prying eyes of other cosmic civilizations, and may even attract the pursuit and killing of other cosmic civilizations. Therefore, he decided that after this exploration mission is over, he will organize some fighters to go to the next galaxy to mine those planets, expand his strength, and train his own fighters. Su Yan controls the Hyperion and sails in this galaxy. In front of the Leon, there is an endless universe on the horizon. As far as the eye can see, the vastness is boundless. In this galaxy, there are no creatures or plants. Everything is a scene of death and silence, only the occasional sparks of interstellar spaceships, showing the bustling and prosperous place here. It's just that all the excitement has become a little desolate and sad in Su Yan's heart. In this galaxy, there are many, many planets, but in this galaxy, no valuable or a resource has been found. There is no trace of life at all, as if they are like a group of dead things that have lost their souls and lost their lives. Here is a galaxy with no future, no hope, no unknown. In this galaxy, Su Yan didn't see anything interesting, nor did he discover anything interesting. In 1 month, Su Yan has traveled all over the large and small planets in this galaxy, and Zia has found tens of thousands of mineral resource planets. He found a lot of minerals, but he didn't get any of them. The minerals on these planets have been excavated by others. The resources of these planets have long been removed by people. Su Yan didn't intend to continue searching, because he found that he was no longer of any value in this galaxy, and he didn't want to waste precious time. Since the resources here can't be mined, I'll go find the next galaxy. Su Yan decided to move on to the next galaxy. The Hyperion sailed slowly in the void of space. This galaxy is really too big. It is really difficult for Su Yan to find the next galaxy. Still, Su Yan decided to give it a try. He wants to travel to other galaxies. If these ores can be obtained, his energy storage will be improved a lot. The Hyperion moved forward slowly. He shuttled through the void of the universe at an extremely fast speed. Outside the Hyperion, there are many energy mines. The speed of the Hyperion was extremely fast, and it traveled a distance of hundreds of light years from another galaxy in 1 day. This galaxy is not far from the Hyperion. In this galaxy, Su Yan also encountered a large planet. There are also many energy mines on this planet, but they are not as many as the Hyperion. The Hyperion crashed straight into the planet. Boom! The Hyperion crashed into the energy mine, and immediately, the Hyperion directly absorbed all the energy in the energy mine. So many, really developed. Su Yan murmured excitedly. The value of energy mines is quite huge, especially for such a large energy mine. The price will be very astonishing. What Su Yan needs most now is this huge energy ore. In other areas of this galaxy, he has nothing to gain, so he plans to go to the star field at the top of this galaxy. In this star field is the topmost layer in this galaxy. Su Yan intends to go to that place to see if he can get some resources to increase his strength. In an endless void, in this galaxy, there are many large planets. There are many humans in these large planets, but their technological level is not at the same level as Su Yan's. They couldn't see Su Yan, the Hyperion, nor the speed of the Hyperion. Su Yan kept moving towards the target, and after a quarter of an hour, he finally saw the planet on the top floor. In front of the Hyperion, a huge black hole is suspended in front, and beside this black hole, there are many black holes. These black holes all lead to the top of this galaxy. When Su Yan saw the black hole, a gleam of light appeared in his eyes. The speed of the Hyperion stopped slowly. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and slowly approached the black hole. When Su Yan manipulated the Hyperion to approach the black hole, there was actually a barrier outside the Hyperion. The Hyperion stayed next to this barrier, and could no longer move forward. The Hyperion stopped beside this barrier. Su Yan looked at the barrier with a serious look on his face. He didn't expect that there would be such a thing blocking the progress of the Hyperion. This barrier is very powerful, and this barrier seems to have an extremely powerful defense. The Hyperion's attack hit this barrier, and it couldn't even cause any damage to it, not even a single ripple. Su Yan's heart sank. He didn't expect that there would be such a scary place here. If you can enter that place, you will make a lot of money, Su Yan thought to himself. He steered the Hyperion and continued to sail in the void of the universe. This time Su Yan is going deep into the interior of this galaxy. In the star field of this galaxy, there are no planets, and there is no danger. Su Yan is driving the Hyperion, and the journey is very smooth, all the way forward. The Hyperion kept moving forward. Finally, Su Yan saw a huge planet. This planet, any planet he has been to before, will be huge. The Hyperion slowed down and slowly stopped outside the planet. There are also many frigates patrolling outside this planet. Around this planet, there are many warships guarding it. This planet seems to be more difficult to approach. Su Yan frowned. If the planet is too big, it will definitely not be easy for the Hyperion to approach, because it will encounter resistance from the other side, and in this case, the Hyperion will be damaged. It seems that we can only use some violent means. First, destroy the defense system of this planet. Su Yan thought. The main cannon on the Hyperion can emit destructive energy, which can easily destroy the defense system of this planet. Fire 3 cannons. As Su Yan said, thick energy columns spewed out from the Hyperion immediately. This time the energy cannon on the Hyperion was extremely powerful. There were loud explosions, and the planet's defense system was destroyed. Boom! The energy cannon fired by the Hyperion continuously destroyed everything around it. After a while, the Hyperion destroyed all the defense systems, and then flew directly to the center of the planet. In the center of this planet, there is a round black crystal with a diameter of about 5,000 kilometers floating. This crystal is the core of this planet. This is also an energy vein at the top of the entire galaxy. A laser generator on the Hyperion was aimed at the largest source of resources. The Hyperion's main guns fired. A beam of light shot out from the gun barrel and hit the energy crystal fiercely. Rumble! The roar resounded through the entire galaxy, and the entire galaxy shook for a while. The main gun of a laser cannon on the Hyperion is also very powerful. A thick energy column shot at the largest energy crystal, instantly destroying the largest energy crystal. The energy crystals were destroyed, and everything here disappeared. At the moment that huge energy crystal disappeared, everyone in the entire galaxy could clearly see it. That's a black hole. And that black hole is the passage that Su Yan wants to enter this galaxy. It worked. A smile appeared in Su Yan's eyes. He steered the Hyperion and flew in. The Hyperion entered the black hole and then disappeared. When the Hyperion entered the black hole, all the interstellar warships in the entire galaxy stopped flying. All the battleships stopped in the void, and then watched the black hole disappear. After the black hole disappeared, the Hyperion flew fast. In one day, the Hyperion had already left the location of this galaxy. This time, the speed of the Hyperion was more than double that of before. In this short day, the Hyperion sailed a distance of nearly 20,000 kilometers. The flying speed of the Hyperion is really too fast, so after sailing for nearly 20,000 kilometers, this time, the speed of the Hyperion was slowly reduced. Although this speed has slowed down a bit, it is still very terrifying. It seems that only those methods can be used. Su Yan thought. The main cannon on the Hyperion started firing a beam of starlight again. Boom! The beam of energy on the Hyperion directly penetrated the void and penetrated into another galaxy. The Hyperion continued sailing, this time at half its speed. A main cannon on the Hyperion once again fired a beam of energy light. The beam of energy on the Hyperion is launched almost every hour in this galaxy, and this speed is terrifying. A day passed, and the Hyperion sailed 4 galaxies. The muzzle on the Hyperion has already aimed at a planet, and the laser weapon on the Hyperion also fired hundreds of beams of energy, smashing that planet into pieces. The energy cannon on the Hyperion is infinitely powerful. In less than a day, the Hyperion destroyed the defense systems of the 2 galaxies. The energy source of this galaxy was destroyed in this way, and the galaxy became a barren land. The main gun of the Hyperion consumes a lot of energy, and now the Hyperion needs some time to recuperate. As Su Yan said, he made the Hyperion stop near a huge meteorite. The muzzle on the Hyperion also slowly shrank, and finally disappeared into the meteorite. Next, Su Yan asked the Hyperion to build a fortress next to the meteorite, and then envelop the entire galaxy. It prevents everyone outside from discovering the existence of this galaxy, and also arranges an energy shield on top of this meteorite. The main gun on the Hyperion can emit a super powerful beam of energy to smash this meteorite. On this meteorite, Su Yan arranged a large number of defensive equipment. These equipments are to prevent the huge impact force produced by these meteorites from destroying this meteorite. The Hyperion has completely enveloped the meteorite, and covered it with various functional defense facilities. The shell of this meteorite is not afraid of those super strong energy impacts at all. The energy recovery speed of the Hyperion is twice as fast as before. This should be because of that super energy beam, which has almost recovered the energy of the Hyperion. Su Yan thought to himself, the main gun of the Hyperion is powerful, and it can continuously emit powerful beams of energy. The Hyperion is also equipped with a super powerful laser cannon, which can exert even more astonishing power. This time, the beams of energy emitted from the Hyperion do not know how many beams can be emitted. In this galaxy, there are too few planets that can withstand it. The route of the Hyperion was very far, and it took several years to reach the sky above a star field. In the sky above this star field, spaceships float in this universe. That is a giant planet in the deepest part of the galaxy. The Hyperion docked at the very center of the galaxy. The hatch of the Hyperion opened. Su Yan came out, and his figure came down from the Hyperion. The battleships on the Hyperion also stepped off the Hyperion one after another. They followed Su Yan and came to this planet together. The appearance of this planet looks a bit like a huge volcano. In this volcano, Su Yan also found many energy reactions. These energy reactions are all a little strange, and some of them seem to be fired from energy cannons. It seems that they should be the original inhabitants of this planet. I don't know what kind of people live on this planet, Su Yan thought. The soldiers on the Hyperion all rushed towards the deepest part of the planet. At this time, a young man wearing a black robe appeared on the planet. He glanced at Su Yan with a look of indifference on his face. He looked at Su Yan and said, "My name is Osvia. Who are you? Why did you come to the core of our galaxy?" This young man's voice was very sharp, and it sounded a little ugly, but he had a pair of extremely beautiful eyes, and his eyes seemed to be shining with the light of wisdom. Su Yan said, "My name is Su Yan." Osvia frowned slightly when she heard Su Yan's name, obviously not familiar with the name. However, Osvia didn't speak, just stared at Su Yan. This name, on this planet, is definitely not common. The above list are some powerful planet overlords. Their names all represent their strength. This Osvia is the overlord of the planet on this planet, the Alpha family. The strength of the Alpha family is considered very strong on this planet, and their group is very large. Olivia's father, Olivier, was once the Marshal of the Star Alliance. Under his leadership, the Alpha clan conquered cities and plundered land all the way, killing an unknown number of Star Alliance troops. Under his leadership, their Alpha family conquered many other galaxies along the way. The strength of the Alpha family is very strong, and it has been expanding over the years. In the area ruled by the Alpha clan, a very large force has formed. The Alpha clan also discovered the Hyperion not long ago. The Hyperion happened to be one of the war weapons that entered the star field, and Osvia was also one of the war weapons that entered the star field. In the eyes of the Alpha people, the Hyperion is definitely a very powerful combat weapon. The weapons on the Hyperion are extremely tempting to the Alphas. The main gun on the Hyperion can fire more than 10 billion energy beams, which is a very powerful weapon of war. In the eyes of the Alpha clan, Officer Hyperion belongs to their Alpha clan. Osvia also wants to take the Hyperion. Although these weapons on the Hyperion are very powerful, the energy shield of the Hyperion is not very strong. If Osvia uses a super energy cannon to attack the energy shield on the Hyperion, the energy shield on the Hyperion should be able to withstand the attack of Osvia's super energy cannon. Osvia's super energy cannon has very strong attack power. It can easily destroy the energy shield of a galaxy, and this super energy cannon can also bomb continuously. This is also his trump card. The power of these super energy cannons can definitely destroy any planet. This is also one of the reasons why those interstellar colonies on the planet will be completely destroyed. These energy shields on the Hyperion are indeed very powerful and can block the attacks of the Alphas. If the Alpha tribe wants to attack the Hyperion, they can only use a sneak attack which may severely damage the Hyperion. This sneak attack method is a very despicable act. This kind of behavior will cause the main guns on the Hyperion to attack, and let the main guns of the Hyperion directly deal with the Alphas, so that the problem can be completely solved. During the war, the Star Alliance will not send too many battleships, but some battle mechs and battleships to enter the starry sky to fight. Some warships of the Star Alliance are hidden on the battleships and battlecruisers, avoiding the attacks sent by the Star Alliance, waiting for the end of the war. In this way, it is possible to avoid the attack of the warships of the Star Alliance. Doing so is very effective. Osvia did not expect that there would be such a powerful war weapon on the Hyperion, and it seems that the performance of this war weapon does not seem to be weak. 303, even stronger than those super energy cannons of the Alpha family. However, in his opinion, this super energy cannon must have some flaws, otherwise the Hyperion would not be in such a mess. It may even have been sunk by the battle mechs and battlecruisers of the Alpha family. The weapons on the Hyperion all have various flaws, and these flaws just give the Alpha family a chance. Osvia looked at Su Yan with unpredictable eyes, and he said, "How did you get here?" The fortifications of the Alpha tribe are very tight, and it is impossible for ordinary people to enter this planet. Osvia will have doubts about Su Yan. Su Yan, he thought, must have come from some galaxy. People in this galaxy should not be so bold, dare to break into here, and Su Yan is not wearing the clothes of the Alpha race. People in this galaxy are very short, so it is impossible to have such a tall body. Su Yan laughed. "I came here to find a galaxy." Looking for a galaxy, Osvia froze for a moment. In this galaxy, where is the right place for Su to find information? This kind of people should be people on those planets outside the Alpha galaxy, Those planets outside the Alpha Galaxy can be counted as the sphere of influence of the entire Alpha family. In the territory of the Alpha race, it is very difficult to find people from other planets within the sphere of influence of the Alpha family. Even those from the Star Alliance would find it very difficult to attack. Su Yan said lightly, "Yes, I'm just looking for a galaxy outside. I want to find that galaxy. I don't know if the Alpha tribe can help." Osvia glanced at Su Yan and then said, "Which galaxy do you want to go to? I can take you there." Hearing this, Su Yan immediately nodded in agreement. This time, Su Yan came here just to gain control of that galaxy. If he can control the galaxy, he will not have to worry about collecting materials to make super energy cannons in the future. Su Yan also wanted to see what happened to that galaxy. Su Yan said, "The Alpha Galaxy is a very large galaxy. I need to go to the center of a galaxy to see what it looks like." Osvia nodded. "There is no problem, I can take you there. However, I must warn you that you don't mess it up there. That place is a dangerous place. We are in that galaxy, and we haven't built a good base. If you mess up there, many dangerous things will happen, so I advise you not to go there." Su Yan shook his head and refused. "I want to see where it is, so you just tell me how to get there, and you don't care about other things. If so, come with me." Osvia took Su Yan and flew towards a planet, and soon left the Alpha Galaxy. This vast galaxy is a very large galaxy, and Osvia flew to the deepest part of this galaxy with Su Yan. Su Yan was not idle either. He was observing the surrounding environment. He couldn't understand Su Yan's super energy cannon, because Osvia had never witnessed Su Yan using a super energy cannon, and after studying for a long time, he finally found some clues. "It turns out that you were able to build such a solid defense system on the surface of the planet, which is very admirable. I have also tried to repair those defense systems, but in the end, I found that these defense systems are too difficult to repair. Even if I attack with all my strength, I am afraid I cannot destroy their defenses." Osvia said, "He is in this galaxy, although he has not been to that galaxy, but he has heard of the existence of that galaxy from a very early age. It's just that so many years have passed, and he has been unable to go in. He just wanders around the edge of the planet occasionally, trying to find the coordinates of the star fields outside the planet. Unfortunately, he didn't find any traces. Because he had no way to get close to the star field, he could only watch from a distance, and he couldn't swim in the starry sky like Su Yan. Well, let's continue on our way. Find the coordinates of this galaxy as soon as possible, and then enter the star field to find the coordinates of that galaxy." After hearing Su Yan's words, Osvia was also excited. "Well, then we will speed up and we will reach that star field soon." Osvia's tone was also very excited, because he knew that their plan was about to proceed to the second step. Osvia's figure disappeared into the void. He was so fast that he disappeared without a trace in a few minutes. Su Yan also quickly disappeared here, and then continued to fly forward. A day later, he and Osvia had already arrived at the border of the Alpha tribe. In this place, he saw a huge star. 0.8. On this huge planet, there is a huge planet floating, which looks very huge. On the border of this planet, there are people from the Alpha clan. They are guarding this starry sky with a serious face, preventing people from other galaxies from entering this planet. Is that the Alpha Galaxy? Su Yan looked at it, and found that this planet was exactly the same as a normal planet, and there was no difference, except for this huge planet. Other places are no different from ordinary planets. The only thing that is special is that this planet seems to be shrouded in a layer of mist, and this mist is fired by that super energy cannon. This mist seems to be a barrier, block all the planets on the planet, including those outside. Looking at that layer of mist, Su Yan suddenly remembered that he was blocked by such a mist when he was on the spaceship. Su Yan frowned and said, "This mist is very strange. It can isolate all substances, and I can feel that above this mist, there is a very strong power." Osvia said, "This mist is called Nebula Mist, which was specially arranged by the Alpha tribe. This mist can prevent all the matter on the nebula from flying into the star field, where the Alpha people live, so that those people will not have the slightest advantage after entering the Alpha Galaxy. So they usually hide somewhere on that planet, or in the galaxy, not letting anyone find them. Of course, there are also people who can pass through the mist and enter the Alpha Galaxy." Su Yan said, I got it. What should we do now? Is it really possible to wait for the people from that galaxy to come here?" 23. Of course not, we can wait, but you can't. Osvia said, "Let's go in now." As he spoke, he flew into the mist of the nebula first, and disappeared in front of Su Yan. Seeing this, Su Yan could only quickly enter the mist of the nebula. Entering the mist of the nebula, Su Yan's field of vision suddenly became much wider. Within the scope of the nebula mist, he felt a lot of tyrannical power fluctuations, even stronger than the people in that galaxy. Su Yan was a little surprised, because the power fluctuations here are 10 times stronger than those in that galaxy. On the edge of this nebula mist, there are many star domains. All of these star domains are galaxies, and the nebula mist is in one of the star domains. And the master of this star field is the Alpha clan, and that Alpha family is the guardian star field of this nebula mist. Osvia, what should we do now? I can feel that the distance between us should be 10,000 light years away, Su Yen said. Osvia smiled and explained, you were right. This place is 10,000 light years away, but our speed is not slow, so as long as it is 10 million light years away, it is easy to get there. Okay, Su Yen nodded, and then began to look around. There are nebulae everywhere here. It seems that you can't see the edge at a glance, and it looks endless. Here, there are countless small galaxies, but there are probably only a few hundred. Here is a corner of the star field, and it is also the star field where the Alpha clan lives. Su Yan and Osvia stayed in a galaxy and looked at it carefully. See that planet? Osvia asked. See. Osvia continued, that is the planet of the Alpha family, and on that planet, there is a powerful ethnic group. This planet is the territory of that ethnic group, where there is a stargate. If my guess is correct, the Alpha race is hidden behind this stargate. Is this also the planet of the Alpha family? Su Yan looked into the distance and found a huge portal behind a planet. This portal looked very tall, as if it could cover the entire world. Su Yan was dumbfounded, but he didn't expect that there really was a door. Osvia said, if we want to enter the star field of the Alpha clan, we must go through that stargate. That stargate is a very old stargate. It is said to be the stargate left by the ancestors of the Alpha clan, and it can also move by itself. But this stargate is very difficult to master, and can only rely on luck. Indeed, if you are lucky, you can pass through that stargate and directly enter another star field. But if you are unlucky, you will be shot by the stargate and fly out of speed. Okay, let's try what you said. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion and rushed towards that door. The Hyperion was very fast, and it rushed into that portal in the blink of an eye. Of course, that portal did not close instantly as Su Yan expected. When the Hyperion rushed in, there was a terrifying shock force immediately from this door. In an instant, Su Yan's Hyperion bomb flew out, then rolled in the air, and finally hit a star. After the Hyperion was ejected, it stopped, and then circled in mid-air. The planet is intact. The Hyperion stopped, and Su Yan also stabilized his figure. Su Bai has already seen the scene just now. After his Hyperion was knocked out, the door was closed immediately. It seems that it is impossible to destroy that portal. After the Hyperion was ejected, it flew directly to the edge of the star field. Su Yan's figure slowly floated down from the Hyperion and landed on the ground. Su Yan, are you okay? Osvia immediately walked over and asked worriedly. Su Yan shook his head and said, it's all right. Although the Hyperion can't fly, its performance is very good. Even if it is thrown out by such a force, it doesn't suffer any damage, and it can still fly back. This little injury naturally poses no threat to it. Su Yan controlled the Hyperion, flew forward for a certain distance, and then stopped at the edge of the star field. The performance of the Hyperion is indeed very powerful, and it can resist this kind of attack. Su Yan praised. Ha ha. Osvia laughed heartily, and said, the speed of our technological development is amazing. These are just some very common attacks. When the time comes, I will pass on our technology to you. That's too troublesome. I don't want to waste time. Su Yan said. Osvia said, Su Yan, I hope you can promise me this matter. Hearing this, Su Yan frowned slightly and said, Osvia, are you persecuting me? Osvia shook his head and said, Su Yan, I am not forcing you. I just hope you can understand my difficulties. I don't want you to regret it in the future. Su Yan was silent when he heard the words. He knew that Osvia had good intentions, and he would not refuse, but he didn't want to think about this matter for the time being. Su Yan, don't worry, I won't force you, but I also want you to grow up as soon as possible. I believe you will be able to grow up soon. I just want to tell you that if you don't want to enter the Alpha family, then you can choose to leave. I don't force it, Osvia said seriously. Hearing Osvia's words, Su Yan pondered for a while, and then said softly, in this case, I will go to the Alpha family with you first, no matter what. I have to figure out this matter, what to do what. I am very pleased that you have such determination. Su Yan, I hope you can succeed. Osvia said, don't worry, I will definitely succeed. Su Yan nodded. Osvia said, let's find a star field to settle down first, and then discuss the matter of entering the Alpha family. After all, it is very dangerous there. Moreover, I have to prepare to enter there, so it won't take too long. It is good. Su Yan was not hypocritical, and agreed directly. Osvia immediately drove the Hyperion to a planet. In a galaxy of stars, he found a star and fell directly. This planet is exactly what Osvia is looking for. This planet is called Cross Ram Star. The Cross Ram Star is actually the largest star in this universe. Occupying this star is equivalent to owning the largest planet in this universe. The technology here has reached the top level, and here, warships that surpass spaceships can even be created. There are a large number of intelligent races living here, and these intelligent races are very powerful. Su-Yan came to Cross Ram after flying the Hyperion for a long time. Ding, check-in location, Cross Ram star, reward, destroy energy. Destruction of energy. What is this thing for? Su-Yan asked. This is the energy that destroys the stars. Destroying the stars is the ultimate existence of the universe. It is the most primitive energy source, and the hardest metal in the universe. They contain destructive power. The power of destroying energy can destroy any item, including a star system introduced. So it is. Su-Yan nodded. This destroying star can actually destroy stars, which is too terrifying. Su-Yan has many such things, but he knows that destruction energy is a very rare existence. What is the specific role of destruction energy? Su-Yan asked. The energy of destruction is formed by an energy group. The energy of destruction can easily destroy everything, but the price of destruction energy is very high, even among the Alpha family. It is very precious. Otherwise, it would have already been carved up by other system way. Su-Yan said. So powerful. I really want to try it out. Su-Yan saw a black energy ball. The energy ball was only the size of a palm, and the surface was covered with a thick layer of dust. It looked very dirty, but there was destructive energy hidden in this energy ball. This destructive energy can be said to be very terrifying. Once it explodes, the entire planet will be destroyed. Therefore, this energy ball is also very important. It can not only destroy the planet, but also destroy other star system way. After hearing this, Su-Yan expressed understanding, and continued to control the Hyperion to find a place to stay on the Cross Ram star. Here, there is a city where Su-Yan settled down. After settling down, Su-Yan and Osvia went to find the Alpha clan together, trying to find a way to meet the patriarch of the Alpha clan. Osvia also wanted to see the patriarch. The two shuttled among the stars, and after flying for about 3 or 4 days, they finally came to an incomparably huge planet. Outside this planet, there are many nebulae combined together, like a huge bubble. In this bubble, there are many nebula floating in the air. These nebula are all energy condensed, exuding faint blue-purple energy ripples. Floating in the nebula, Su-Yan stood outside the nebula, took a few glances, and said, Osvia, the energy of this planet is very abundant. This planet is probably what you call a star. Osvia nodded slightly and said, yes, this is a star. Su-Yan said, that's no wonder. With so much energy gathered together, Jiading is very rich in energy reserves on this planet. Inside the planet, there are still some energies swimming. Those energies are very wonderful. I have never seen such amazing energies. Osvia praised. Su-Yan smiled and said, this kind of energy is one of the most powerful energies in the universe. It is called the core of the star. The reason why the energy is so rich is that the core of the star absorbs various energies in the nebula. The energy produced by the core of a star is called stellar energy. Stellar energy? What is that? Osvia asked curiously. Su-Yan smiled and said, actually, stellar energy also has many functions. I have just said that the reason why the energy is so rich is caused by the core of the star. If the core of the star is destroyed, the energy of the star will disappear, and in this way, countless streams of energy particles will be formed. Therefore, the energy particle flow is very powerful, and the energy particle flow can instantly kill all life. Hearing what Su-Yan said, Osvia suddenly took a deep breath. If it is really like what Su-Yan said, then this stellar core is definitely very precious. Otherwise, it would not be so tightly protected. How big is this stellar core? Su-Yan continued to ask. Fork. Very large, more than 10,000 times larger than ordinary stars. Osvia said. Su-Yan nodded slightly, and said, that's easy to handle. When I get rid of this star, we can directly destroy this star, by Zhao, and then absorb all the energy of this star into Huber. On the Leon, if this is the case, the defensive power of the Hyperion will be raised several levels. Su-Yan steered the Hyperion to crash towards this star. On this star, there is a group of Alpha people patrolling, and all of these patrols are the elite troops of the Alpha race. They hold weapons capable of firing energy cannons in their hands, and there is a row every other distance, which is very strict. And in front of them, there was a high platform, and on the high platform, a person was sitting on a throne. On the high platform, there is a ruby, and on the ruby, there is a red silk thread. On this red silk thread, there is a wave of energy wandering, and the strength of this energy is even stronger than the destructive energy released by Su-Yan. Patriarch, why did you call us here suddenly? A young man walked to the side of the high platform, and asked respectfully to an old man, sitting on the high platform. This old man is the ruler of this planet, the patriarch of the Alpha clan. Kate. He glanced at the people below, and said, You should also know that now our Alpha family has encountered an unprecedented disaster. This kind of disaster is very terrifying. Patriarch, please speak. Others spoke one after another. Kate looked at the people below and said, this kind of disaster was only recently discovered on our planet, but we don't know the specific reason. We have also sent many people into the universe to explore, but no one came back alive. This time the degree of danger is very high. Patriarch, since the level of danger is high, we should not go. Our strength cannot help us at all, and we don't want to lose our lives because of it, said one of them. That's right, Patriarch, I don't want to lose my life because of this. If I just fell like this, it would really be meaningless, so I suggest forget about this matter. Another person said, Patriarch, I think it's better not to go hastily. Let's improve the strength of the clan first, and then slowly consider the matter of going. A woman said 280. Kate was silent for a moment, then said, well, but you must not be careless. Although we can avoid this disaster, but no one can guarantee that this disaster will not appear in the next disaster. Therefore, we must seize the time to improve our strength, so that we can resist more powerful disasters. Yes, Patriarch, Kate continued. Okay, let's all go down. Yes, Patriarch. Everyone left the high platform, and then the Alpha family. After they left, Kate's face also became extremely gloomy. After giving the order to retreat, Kate immediately told Cruz the news. Cruz was startled, and immediately asked Kate, what's going on? Why should all our people retreat? We can stay here. We stay here, even if we encounter a stronger enemy, we can also deal with it, so that we can eliminate them faster. Kate sighed. Cruz, this disaster is really terrible. Our people suffered heavy casualties, and now I have passed the news back to the Alpha family. I hope they can prepare early to avoid heavy losses in time. What? Cruz was furious. He was extremely angry in his heart. If all the people of the tribe were dead, then he would have no hope of being able to ascend to the position of Patriarch. Kate didn't care about Cruz's feelings and left directly. Cruz was on the spot clenching his fists. He knew that someone must be behind the scenes this time, but he couldn't find out who was behind the scenes. This person is really too strong. If the person behind the scenes is not found out, then the Alpha clan will never be able to get rid of this danger. Patriarch, don't worry, the people of the tribe are not vegetarians, and they will definitely be able to quickly investigate what caused this incident. I believe in the ethnic group. They will never disappoint the expectations of the Patriarch. A woman stood beside Cruz and said softly. Cruz sighed and said, I hope so. Su Yan is the operator of the Hyperion, sailing quickly towards the other end of the star system. He is still not sure how big this star system is, so he can only search within the range of several surrounding star systems, hoping to find some clues. Su Yan kept searching in the starry sky. Hyperion's speed was very fast, and several star systems were discovered before long. How could this star be in a remote corner? The planet size, CDDH, of this star is too huge. Logically speaking, it shouldn't be in such a desolate place. Is there anything weird about this star? Su Yan muttered to himself, and then continued to drive the Hyperion forward. However, after the Hyperion flew for about 200 kilometers, it was suddenly intercepted. Who is it? How dare you stop me? Su Yan frowned. On the star field in front of the Hyperion, there are several giant spaceships suspended. The size of these spaceships is very large, and the appearance of these spaceships is all made of metal. Above them, there is a layer of faint metallic light floating. Stop sailing, or I will attack. On the spaceship, a thick beam of light pierced through the void and shot towards the Hyperion. The defensive hood of the Hyperion exploded instantly, blocking the light beam. The energy cannon of the spaceship seemed to be very powerful, directly shaking the entire Hyperion. However, Su Yan didn't show any worry. He knew that this spaceship must be just an ordinary spaceship, not some super interstellar warship. Su Yan immediately steered the Hyperion to turn around and fly to one side, trying to bypass this spaceship. Damn. The captain of the spaceship suddenly became furious. Unexpectedly, his move just now did not pose any threat to the Hyperion, which made him feel very aggrieved. Keep firing energy cannons to destroy the Hyperion. The captain of the spaceship roared loudly, and immediately behind him, 10 more spaceships opened fire. The energy cannons of these spaceships are very tyrannical, and the energy of each of them can easily destroy a planet. Block their shelling for me, Su Yan shouted loudly. At this moment, the Hyperion finally played its role. It quickly adjusted its direction, and then started to counterattack. Boom! The Hyperion started to counterattack. It rushed over quickly, and collided with the energy cannons of these spaceships. Boom! A violent explosion sounded, and 2 waves of energy raged wildly, covering the Hyperion's exterior in a kill. Su Yan yelled, and he also tried his best to control the Hyperion to rush towards the opponent's spaceship. Their speed was slightly slower than that of the Hyperion, but they didn't fall much.
Thank you for watching Mystic Realms Recap. Please like, share and subscribe. Have a great day.